Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about some viable alternatives to Redbubble as a platform. So basically what the concept is for us print-on-demanders is that we like to post designs on certain websites. One of those websites would be Redbubble. Redbubble generates organic traffic. It helps us get ranked on Google. People search for our products. They find them, whether it be using the Google algorithm or the Redbubble algorithm. They find the product. If they're interested, they purchase. If they're not interested, maybe they're getting retargeting ads, things like that maybe help them purchase one day down the road. Now, are there any alternatives to Redbubble? Well, there are. Some of you may know them. Some of them you may not know. So let's go ahead and talk about the ones that are actually viable. Now, there are many, many different alternatives. There are smaller marketplaces and there are larger marketplaces. So let's go ahead and talk about it. The biggest alternative is going to be Merch by Amazon. Now, we're going to go over the pros and cons to each of these platforms. Now, there's obvious pros to Merch by Amazon. Well, it is the Amazon platform where you put up merch. The only thing is that you're going to need to get accepted into the application. You guys know I was in the application. I got accepted. Got to tier 500 in less than like 6 months. It was a lot of work, but it was fun. It was interesting. It was just fun. And obviously, because of my wrongdoing, I showed what design that I created that got me terminated or suspended permanently from the platform. And I had a lot of rejections at that point, and got suspended from the platform as a whole. Now, from what I know, you're not allowed to create for other accounts and things like that. But something that I will say is that, there might be a way around it. I know a lot of people buy accounts. They maybe try to create other accounts, which is a viability. I mean, at this point, you got nothing to lose since I only have one. I had one account, and that account was gone. But generally, from what I tend to kind of understand, is that Merch by Amazon a little bit less lenient. And it comes from, how popular they are. And that's because everybody wants to apply, everybody wants to get in, everybody wants to get accepted, right? So that's Merch by Amazon. Amazon is probably the biggest website on the internet today, and it gets the most traffic. Redbubble, okay, is what you're going to be your second best, in my opinion, at least. Now, the reason why I like Redbubble is because their limits daily is I could upload 60 daily pieces of work, okay? So, for example, let's say this design here, let's go ahead and click on this. This design could be on a phone, it could be on a calendar, it could be on a sticker, it could be on a shirt, it could be on whatever, but it's still considered one piece of work, which I love. You could see here I put it on 90 plus products. I put it on all the products, guys, the designs, and they, that's kind of how it works. Now, I enjoy that. I like that. I actually prefer that because I always thought that with Redbubble, I could do more than I could do with Merch by Amazon because the limits are lower. At one point, when I was in tier 500, they had a 10-piece limit. And it wasn't a design limit. It was a piece limit, unit limit. And I think they've increased that by now to like 45 or something like that. But with that being said, I haven't been on merch for a while, so I can't really tell you the exact numbers. But Redbubble, the reason why I like it so much is not only do they help the consumer, but it's one of those things that we call play to win. So in the video game world, there's different kinds of types of video games. For example, you have pay to win, meaning you can buy your skill set, you can buy your level, you can buy getting better at the game, like pay cash for it. And then you have play to win, which means the only way you can get better is by actually playing. The only way by leveling up is you get better. And, Redbubble is one of those platforms that are play to win. To get better at the platform, to get more results, you have to play the game. You have to be involved in the game. You have to upload more designs. You have to do more marketing. You have to do more promotion. You have to make better designs. There's a list of things that you could do to get better at the Redbubble game, right? Merch by Amazon is a little different. I could have one design, but I could be a millionaire off that one design by paying ads for it and essentially paying to succeed, right? And it goes off of a review system. It goes off of a sales ranking, things like that, right? Redbubble's algorithm is a little bit different. Now let's talk about some alternatives. The first alternative is TeePublic. Now there's some obvious benefits to TeePublic. They pay for ads as well. And I believe so does Zazzle, which is going to be our next alternative. I'll say this right off the bat. TeePublic has a better upload, I guess you could say upload software, I guess you could say, when you upload your design, than Zazzle does. Zazzle is a little bit pain in the butt. But, it is what it is. Zazzle is probably, in my opinion, out of these three, out of Redbubble, TeePublic, and Zazzle, Zazzle is probably the worst to upload each product, because I have to sit there, upload each one manually, and it's a headache. Honestly, it's been such a headache that after I uploaded one design, I never went back to it. I'm not saying that it's a bad platform. I'm sure I'll get on it one day, and I'm sure I'll get on it on TeePublic. And it's honestly probably a smarter decision to make, right? It's probably a smarter decision to when I upload a design on Redbubble, I upload it on other platforms. So with that being said, TeePublic, you have a limit on what you can upload. It's almost like a tier system, just like Merch by Amazon. Now the tiers are more generous. I think the first tier is like where you get to upload, I think, 25 designs or 50 designs. Don't quote me on that, but it's better than what you would have had on Merch by Amazon. But let's go ahead and take a look at the traffic numbers. So TeePublic, in the last, let's see here, total visits in the last 3 months, we're looking at roughly, let's say, close to almost 30 million, right? Almost 30 million, maybe about 20-something million. But regardless, in the last month, 8.9 million. Pretty good traffic. Now, if you guys were to be curious and compare that to Redbubble, Redbubble gets about 29 million a month. Okay, so what TeePublic does in 3 months is what Redbubble's gonna do in 1 month. Okay, so I guess just as a predictor, in terms of ratios based on that information alone, you're going to get 3 times the sales, roughly. And obviously, this is not always the case. Some cases are very different for different people. But 3 times roughly the amount of sales you would have got on Redbubble than you would have got on TeePublic. Now, I'm not saying don't go to TeePublic. Like I said, I'm not encouraging or discouraging anyone from joining any platform. I'm just giving you a little bit more insight on each platform. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the information on Zazzle here. Zazzle is a little bit bigger. We have 16.2 million visits in the last month. Still not as big as Redbubble, but still something that is definitely holds its own. Now, something that I will say about Zazzle is I believe each piece that you upload is individually personalized in terms of the check. They have a check system where they check on each design. I believe it is checked by a human being on each design. I could be wrong, but last time I checked, that is the case for me. And maybe if you're in newer tiers and things like that. Now, something that I will say is you want to pay attention here to the bounce rate. So the bounce rate on Zazzle is 64%. The bounce rate is a little bit less. You're looking at 54% here. So what bounce rate just means on Redbubble is that when somebody's essentially visiting your site and they leave right away, that's kind of what the bounce rate is, right? And the bounce rate is generally not a bad, it is bad for businesses. You generally don't want to have a high bounce rate, but you could see here Redbubble out of all these different platforms, Redbubble has the lowest bounce rate. 10% is still going to make a difference. It's not going to be a crazy difference, but it does matter. And you could basically think of it this way, is that roughly 50% of the people that come to your website or come to your shop are going to just hop right off. That's the best way I can kind of explain it, right? Now, category ranking is kind of irrelevant because we already spoke about the traffic. You could see here, like I said, Redbubble traffic is about 29 million, 30 million in August, 32 million in July. I feel like if anything, it should be higher, but it is what it is. Something that I noticed with Redbubble is I get lots of overseas sales. Lots of overseas sales. I'm talking UK, Germany. That's where most of my sales come from. Not even from the US, believe it or not. Kind of ironic, but it is what it is. So when you're using these different platforms, you could be the person that is very holistic. You can recycle your design and put it on all different platforms. You could do that. Is it going to take more time? Absolutely. Can you get paid more money in the long term? Absolutely. I think it's just in general, what I'm doing right now, guys, is and I'm not encouraging anybody to do this. If you guys want to do a different strategy, go ahead and do it. I'm just sharing what I'm personally doing. I have a goal for this upcoming year, for 2022. My goal is to get 10 Redbubble stores up, done, and completed with, let's say, over 300 designs each on those 10. New stores, by the way, not including any of the stores that I currently have. So I currently have a head start on that, but it's a very small head start. And, it's going to take a lot of work. And for me, I'm not going to be able to spread myself too thin. I'm not going to be able to divert energy into Zazzle or TeePublic, in that kind of space. Now, you can make the argument I could just hire somebody, and I agree. I could just hire somebody. But honestly, I want to be a master at this. I want to be very, very good at this, and I want to conquer it and then move on to something else in my life. So for the year that's coming up, I'm going to be doing it solely by myself. I'm not going to be hiring anybody. I'm not going to be outsourcing any sort of work. Everything is going to be in my control for this kind of system. I'm going to be a one-man team, a one-man band for this Redbubble thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, like I said, or this is my goal. And, I might fall short. I might not. We'll see what happens. Only time will tell. But my kind of goal is to see what happens, upload, like I said, the 10 stores, create the 10 stores. We already got a head start on that. I think I have 2 stores now out of the 10, and see what happens. And guys, the whole goal for that is I don't get some sort of pride out of creating 10 stores. What I'm really doing is I'm creating an insurance policy. I'm creating a protection policy. If one store gets deleted for whatever reason, so what? I have 9 other stores. No big deal. If one store is lacking in sales, so what? I have 9 other stores that could potentially make sales. And that's kind of my goal. That's kind of my approach. I am obviously more than aware that not every store is going to do phenomenally well. This being one of them. This quotes store probably is going to do the worst out of all of them. Not because there's something wrong with quotes, but it's just generally search for less, especially on the Redbubble platform. Search for very, very few amount of times. And I know that because I have keyword research tools that I utilize. But that's perfectly fine with me. I'm still going to do my part and commit to the process. And you guys know if I'm going to be sticking to that, there's not going to be much time for me to do other things because, as you guys know, Redbubble is, merch in general, print on demand, is not my only business that I do. Like, it's not the only thing that I do. It's not the only way I make money. I have other businesses. I have a life outside of this kind of stuff. And I'm always looking for the next thing to kind of, use and take over and have fun and utilize for business. So this is just kind of my thoughts on some alternatives to Redbubble. I would say the only way you could truly judge these platforms like Zazzle and TeePublic is you just give it a shot for yourself. All right, I'll leave the I was gonna say I'll leave the links in the description, but you guys probably already know Zazzle.com, TeePublic.com. So there's not much to say. All right, if you guys have any questions. And by the way, I have videos lined up for you guys. I've had lots of questions on certain other platforms. Please leave them in the comments down below. Everybody's video will be responded. Everybody's video will be created. Like if you say, hey, can you create a video on this? Or you can create a video on that. I have no problem with it. It's just a matter of waiting because we already have a list. This was one of the videos on the list. Somebody asked, hey, can you create a video of the alternatives to Redbubble? I went ahead and did that. So any requests you guys have, leave them in the comments down below. I just want to thank everybody who's been watching the videos, who's been hitting the thumbs up button, who's been commenting. It means the world to me, honestly. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right? Peace out. Bye.